Salut les amis! Come with us on a boozy tour of France, where wine flows like the waters of the Rhine, people guzzle pastis like it's Gatorade at halftime, and the president drinks 14 glasses of vin per week. But hey, no judgment here. Needless to say, the French are big fans of spirits. After all, they've been in the booze game for centuries. From the wily absinthe to the volcano-inspired Avez, there's a lot to explore in their proverbial liquor cabinet. Let's start with some numbers. Over 67 million people live in France, and for most of that population, the thirst is real. It's not unusual to enjoy a splash of Calvados in your breakfast coffee, sip a glass of wine for lunch, pair your afternoon goûter with an apéritif, and top off your workday with a beer or two. And that's all before dinner, which is typically followed by, you guessed it, more booze. And there's a long history of that kind of boozing. At the turn of the 20th century, there was so much cheap plonk swilling around France that bars sold wine by the hour. Bar patrons could pay a flat rate for the privilege of chugging as much wine as their liver could handle in an hour. Fast forward to today, and among developed countries, France ranks 4th in the amount of alcohol consumed per person, clocking in at around 11.8 liters. In fact, the heaviest drinking 20% of the population in France drink about 50% of all alcohol, which puts a tipsy twist on the old 80-20 rule. And while 11.8 liters might sound like a lot, especially compared to the US's paltry 8.7, that doesn't even come close to their boozy heyday. In 1973, the country reached its peak, with drinkers knocking back 20.8 liters per person. But even with those impressive numbers, very little of that actually includes one of France's homegrown spirits, Cognac. This high-quality brandy, using wine from the Ugni Blanc grape, can only be produced in the Cognac region of France. And as it turns out, the French aren't huge fans. They export 95% of what they produce. In the words of the great Canadian poet, Drake, "I need a one dance, got a Hennessy in my hand. One more time before I go, higher powers taking a hold on me." When it comes to France, wine gets all the press. And with good reason. The French have basically mastered the vine. But if you're too busy sticking your nose in a wine glass, you're bound to miss one of the most popular local spirits in France, pastis. This anisette-flavored spirit was invented after absinthe was made illegal during World War I to satisfy the French's penchant for licorice-flavored drinks. Clearly, Good and Plenty wasn't cutting it. On a warm summer day, you'll typically find locals diluting this liqueur with cool water before consuming it as an apéritif. This gives the drink a cloudy and almost milky hue, so no, you're not seeing things. Yet. Just kidding. Because you won't find any grand wormwood in this bottle. If you're looking for some trippy hallucinations, your best bet is still Burning Man. Sorry. Once upon a time, absinthe would have probably ruled France as the country's most interesting drink, but the present lack of wormwood makes Jack a very dull boy. That's why you should take a closer look at Avez. Why? Because you're basically ingesting the power of volcanic fury with every sip. Well, sort of. See, Avez is a liqueur made exclusively using a wild yellow mountain plant that's collected from the historic national park of Volcanic Spirits. That's a park that encompasses 3 volcanic mountains, Puy de Dôme, L'Homme-Telgi, and Volcanic. The drink itself falls in the bitter category, but people say it helps reduce fever and helps with digestion. So, bring on that third round of raclette. If you find yourself in France or drinking with a mostly French crew, keep this in mind. It's all about the eye contact. So while you're toasting to the occasion, mesmerize them with your best blue steel before tossing back your booze. Speaking of toasts, you don't need to be Barack Obama to win everyone over with your words. Just repeat after us. À votre santé. That means to your health. Or just shorten it to santé and get on with the drinking already. Oh, and in France, it's legal to drink wine, beer, or cider while at work. So pass the kegerator, will ya? Much like their spirits, the French are smooth drinkers. They're kind of like the Robert Redford of the booze world, an old-school class act that's damn good at what they do. And to that, we say, santé!